Hi, everybody. Welcome. And I'm so pleased to spend Friday Eve with all of you in doing this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Tonight, we're going to be talking about love languages. And you see this picture of tacos because I want us to use the analogy of how we each fill our own tacos with different ingredients because we just like them that way. So what I'm going to ask you is, if you don't wear glasses, just pretend you're wearing glasses. And I want you to listen and enjoy this. And remember that I want us to look at this through the lens of a taco, of each of our kids, and us included, have this different set of ingredients that make us up. So Ms. Marissa did tell you I'm a mom, and I just wanted to show you my why, okay? Diego is 20, gonna be 21 in a month. Anna is 21, gonna be 22 in a month. And Sophia is 17. And they are my why. They're the reasons why I do everything, just like all of you. Everything we do is just about our kids. And they often say to me, Mom, you're not going to bring that school stuff home, are you? But I have, and I'll tell you a little bit how I have after you do something for me. So let me first just tell you why we're here. I want you to have the walkaway opportunities of realizing that if you need to build a relationship with one of your kiddos, this is going to be a starting point. And I know that might sound strange, but there are sometimes some of us who have lost connection, or maybe we're a new mom or a new dad, or we're a new caregiver, or we're an aunt or an uncle that have just become a caregiver, and we're still working on building those relationships. So I want you to walk away realizing this tool is going to allow you to do that. It's going to increase your connectedness to the children in your home, and it's going to promote your own personal as well as your child's self-awareness. So if you would, just for this moment, turn your videos off. Your video pictures off on Zoom. And I'm going to actually do the same because I'm going to show you a video.
Hey, this is Mercedes Samudio, and in today's video, we'll be talking about our 5 love languages and how we can apply them to our family. Let's get started. The 5 love languages is a concept that was created by Dr. Gary Chapman. And in his original books, he was talking about how couples give and receive love based on 5 core love languages that we all have. However, he's expanded that concept to also include children and teenagers. And so in today's video, I wanted to really talk about what those 5 love languages are and how you and your family can begin to understand each other's love language so you can really create that foundation to your relationship that, again, as I always talk about, helps us to deal with discipline, helps us to deal with behavior, helps us to deal with conflicts, and helps us to really enjoy spending time with each other. So the first love language is quality time. Now, we've all heard about that concept, and we know that when we spend quality time with one another, that really helps us to really build our bonds together and to feel really comfortable with each other. So if someone in your family's love language is quality time, that means that they like to give their love and show their love by spending time with you and taking some time just to have quality time together. They also feel love when people spend quality time with them. The second love language is words of affirmation. And in this love language, it goes beyond praise, but it goes into this idea of really understanding how to give love in words and the way that we speak to each other. If someone in your family or yourself has words of affirmation as their main love language, what you like to do is to give love by saying positive things to each other or letting other people know that you love them. You might say things like, I really love you, I really appreciate what you're doing, or other phrases like that. It also means that you also feel love when people give you words of affirmation. So when people let you know that they're appreciative of you by their words or by the phrases that they use for you. I think this is a really important love language to realize, because you could be doing other things for somebody, but if they really feel like hearing the words of affirmation being spoken to them is the way that they feel love from you, it'll be really good to get into that and really learn how to give them that love language back to them. The third love language is acts of service. And acts of service can be sometimes misconstrued as giving in to somebody or doing everything for them. But if someone in your family, whether it be you or your child or your spouse, has the love language that is primarily acts of service, it doesn't always mean that you have to always do things for them, but it also means that that's how they show love to other people. They may show love by doing the dishes for you even though it's not their night, or bringing home dinner the night when you feel really tired and you didn't want to cook tonight, or just doing something positive for you that you didn't ask for, but they felt like, you know what, I want to do it for you. So when we talk to someone or we give love to someone whose main love language is acts of service, it's really important to think, I don't always have to do for them, even though I know that that is how they accept and receive love, but I also need to be able to receive when they do small acts of service for me as well. The fourth love language is receiving gifts. If someone in your family has that love language, let's break that down a little bit, because I know that that one can also be a kind of controversial love language where it's like, I'm not always going to be buying somebody something to show them that I love them. So if someone in your family, maybe your kids, maybe your spouse, has the love language of receiving gifts, it's this idea that they like to be given things. So it could be you went to the bookstore and you thought of a book that they would love and you just decided to bring it home. It could be that you were out somewhere shopping and you saw a little trinket and you thought, oh, they would really like this, and you bring it home. It doesn't have to be big, grandiose things like an Xbox system or a diamond ring. It can even be something homemade that while you were sitting at home, you were thinking, I want to make this for this person and give it to them. When someone has the love language of receiving gifts, it also means that they like to express their love by giving others gifts as well. So you may get little gifts like from our kids, they might bring a flower home on their way home from work, or from our spouse, they might bring home, a newspaper article that they feel like they wanted you to see. So it doesn't always have to be about these grandiose, expensive gifts. It could just be the thought behind why you're bringing that gift or why you're bringing that trinket to the person that really helps them to feel like someone loves me and this is how I really receive love in my love language. The last love language is physical touch. Physical touch can be really controversial, again, as also for people who don't really like to hug. So in those people who don't really like to hug or don't like to touch, you can kind of assume that's probably not their love language. But if you have someone in your family who really does like to be close to you, they like to cuddle, they like to hug you, they like to always kind of pat you on the shoulder or pat you on the back or touch you on the hand, you can assume that that person's love language is physical touch. And again, just like with all the other love languages, it doesn't have to be grandiose, big shows of affection, but just, again, a light touch where you touch them on the hand. You might hold their hand when you're out in public. You might give them a hug when you see them. Or you might, when you're sitting together watching TV, whether it be with your kids or with your spouse, just sitting close to them so that way they know you're there. Someone who has this love language also likes to give their love by giving people hugs or touching people in light ways. So that way they can feel like, I'm giving love to you in this way. One of the reasons why I really appreciate the concept of love languages is because when we get really serious about understanding the people in our lives, especially our families, especially in our parenting, it really helps us to understand why when I gave someone a gift, they didn't love it as much, but when I gave them a hug, they felt like the world had just opened up for them. It lets us know that how does our family give and receive love? Each of these love languages teaches us who we are, how we like to receive love, how we like to feel love, but it also teaches us how that person likes to give love and express their love for other people. And I really encourage you to take the quizzes and to really understand how my family shows love, how they receive love, and how they feel love. Each of the quizzes is for adults as well as teens as well as children. So I have all three of the quizzes. They'll be down there for you to take. So I really do encourage you, especially with Valentine's Day coming up, right? It doesn't just have to be a holiday.
Well, and I know we're not in Valentine's Day, but I just loved her energy of how she explained it. And it's perfectly fine for y'all to put your videos back on. I'm good with that because I love seeing one of my love languages is just quality time with people. And woo, this pandemic has impacted that for me. So what she just explained were these 5: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. And again, if you look at each of these tacos, they're filled completely differently. So let's get into this now, all right? So you're gonna have 2 options of being able to access. I've put in the QR code. So in the beginning, when Miss Terry was speaking to you, she held up her phone. She said, put your camera on, hold up your phone, and put it towards the QR code. When you do that, it's going to take you to this link and it's going to allow you to take the test. I'm also going to stop sharing for a second and I am going to and I really just meant to stop the full share. I'm going to drop this in the chat box. So if it's easier for you to access that way, you can do that as well. And you're going to click on it and then you're going to choose the one. And unfortunately, y'all, my chat box is not coming up. Could one of the hosts just copy this code into the chat box for me? My apologies. I don't know why mine is not showing up. And when you get in there, you choose the one of, there we go. You choose the one that applies to you. If you are in a relationship and you are a couple, then you complete the couple. Oop, we're gonna go back. We lost our. If you click on it, it could take you, you choose the singles, okay? So pick either one that applies to you. And Ms. Rodriguez, all you, in the chat box, if you would just literally like a manual, just type in that. Does that work for you? Okay, okay. And I'm going to go on silence. I'm going to give everybody about 7-8 minutes to complete their love language quiz. I see Miss Fernanda has put hers into the chat box already. It's like she knew exactly what to do. So that's what I would like you to do as you finish up, and take your time. We still have a few minutes. As you finish up, put your top 2 love languages in the chat box for all of us to see. And ladies, I can see my chat box now. It's miraculously working. And these are mine, just so you know. One participant asked to see the quiz, so I'm bringing this slide back up for you to see. You can either type in that address into your Chrome bar, or you can use your camera, turn your camera on, put it towards this, which is called a QR code, and it'll automatically take you there, okay? So it's super interesting because I know we all don't know each other very well, but man, look at our responses. You know, they're just so many similarities. And then at times we've got a few differences going around. And, you know, that's exactly what happens in our families is I think at times, well, they should be acting this way. Well, but that's not really fair because I'm not considering who they are, especially in how they're receiving their love language. So read this to yourself. In the lens of a taco, what does that mean when you're with your kids and with those that you love? Words of affirmation, your tacos are delicious. Acts of service, tacos. Receiving gifts, here's a taco. Quality time, let's go out for tacos together. And physical touch, let me hold you like a taco, right? And, you know, as fun as this is, I also want us to be considerate that on the left side of the screen shows how we can do these things with each other and what it means. On the right side of the screen could be ways that we turn people off. So if my child's if my child's love language is quality time, but I leave them out, and that doesn't mean I'm intentionally leaving them out of activity. It means I'm a mom. I just came home from work from 12 hours. I walk in the house, I'm getting changed, I'm cooking dinner, and I'm not focused on her. I didn't stop and say hi. I didn't stop for 3 minutes, sit down next to her and have a conversation. That's going to feel like she's being left out. If I'm using the if I'm bribing my kids to do the right thing, that's not going to feel good. If your child's love language is gifts, they might not have the words to tell you, depending upon their age, but that's not necessarily going to feel good to them at all. Hurtful words is going to really hurt your kiddo with words of affirmation. That's going to damage them in a way. And, when our kids maybe aren't doing the right thing, sometimes how we speak doesn't always have a language of safety, and it's not intentional, but it's just what comes out. So we want to be very cognizant of what we're saying, especially when we want our child to change up a behavior. Physical touch, obviously unsafe touch, and acts of service. We don't want anything to seem manipulative. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you, right? So just be cognizant of some of our ways so we're not damaging that relationship and damaging what we know about their love language. Because knowing somebody's love language shouldn't be about becoming manipulative. It should be about being able to go deeper with them. And, the opportunity we have is we've done this for ourselves, but you have this link, and go out there and do it with your kids. If you have littles, you can ask them a few questions, and I'm going to show you an article that you could use to help you with that. But take some time to find your kiddo's love language, because it's not only just important to know ours, and let them know what yours is too, but we really want to ensure that we know theirs. And why? Well, when I started, I introduced you to Anna, Diego, and Sophia. Look at my 3 kids. All 3 have a number 1 love language that's different. Yet at times I work in this mode, well, everybody should feel good about everything if I just deliver it one way. But that can't happen. Anna doesn't live with me anymore, so her words of affirmation come through texting and handwritten notes. Sophia's still here, so I'm giving her as much quality time as possible before she's not here or off to college. And I try to dedicate at least 30 minutes of one-on-one with her every day. And I know that for some of you, you might think, well, that doesn't sound like a lot of time. But, sometimes it is, depending upon what's going on between her work schedule, my work schedule, her activities for school. Sometimes finding 30 minutes is really tricky, but that's been my goal with her, is finding that time and having that one-on-one time. My Diego, he's off at college. So how do I do acts of service for him? I'm his college paper editor. It's not all the time, but I've offered up that service to him, and he has taken advantage of that. And he has sent me some papers for review, and I wordsmith them and send them back. He loves to be cooked for. So when he does come home, I'll cook some food for him to take back up. And one other acts of service, if I visit him, I'll take him out and do a surprise grocery shop. All those things are very different. And I have to be cognizant as of a parent to pay attention to those differences and put those differences in place. And I'm sorry, my chat box is not opening again. It's being finicky tonight. So if there's anything in there, ladies, that I should address, let me know. So I want you to think about, how can you apply this to your children? So we have a little time. Our time's not up yet. Write your child or children's names down. In your head, maybe think about what you think maybe their love language is. And jot down a few ways you can speak to that language. I know they haven't taken the test necessarily, but you probably in hearing and learning about some of this have an idea. I also have an article here for you. You're welcome to use your phone, QR code it again. And it's an article titled 50 Ways to Make Your Child Feel Loved. And, you know, the gal mentioned that you want to make this simple. So think about morning routines, meals, outings, evening routines, special occasions, places where you can put a little bit of what they need into place when things are sometimes hectic for us. So in the chat box, if you would, type in there one thing you think you have the opportunity to do for one of your kiddos at your house. I see people using their cameras, probably going to the article. Did y'all get to that article? Is that what do I see y'all looking at the article? Give me thumbs up if that's what's happening for people on the screens. All right, who's going to be brave and courageous and be our first chat box inputter? What's one thing you think, or one time of day, based upon what you learned about the love languages? I know you don't know your kiddos yet for sure because they haven't taken the test, but knowing that you know them, what's one thing that you think you could start doing that's different than what you've been doing already?
Would you like me to read some out from the chat box?
Oh, please, because I'm sorry. On my screen, I'm not seeing anything. So my assumption is they're not coming through. Again, I don't know why that's happening.
Yes. So one of them that I really liked, which I actually do with my kiddo, is in the evenings, 30, 45 minutes chatting while exercising. Special occasion meals, more words of affirmation, surprise them with special baking. Tell them stories and spend quality time with them. I can cook and be with them most of the times. Again, words of affiliation, cooking. There seems to be quite a few with cooking, quality time, after school snacks and meal. My brother loves Fortnite and he loves receiving gift cards to buy things on his cards, on his game, sorry. So gifts. Reading together, uninterrupted time with mom, no distractions, very good one. Paris likes to play, so I play with her or watch movies with her. That is awesome. Always go with what they're interested in. Ask more about his day. Just hang around, nothing special. That one's a good one too. Let me see. Sometimes I go up and I miss a lot of other ones. My daughter loves gifts. Lots of hugs, yes. I always ask about their day and then open the door to conversation. Praise them, quality time every afternoon. Awesome. Loves gifts, chocolates, thinks that's love. My daughter loves gifts as well. I wish I can be more effective in communication verbally, through though in ways they will not be annoyed by what I'm saying. Yes, that's a very great point.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it depends upon their ages.
Yes.
So that's huge. So you can be effective. I always just say to people, if your go-to is how was your day? What happened? Maybe shift it up. You know, today, my day, the greatest thing that happened for me was, what was your great point of your day? You know, shift up versus maybe just posing the question to them, share your answer to what you're asking them first so they hear your share first. That's just a quick and easy strategy for that person who said that.
Thank you for that. My love language is watching the movie they want to watch. And my daughter likes to talk to me one-on-one. Words of affiliation and spend time with them and lots of love, conversations with them. I love you. Telling them I love you, sorry. My kids watch anime. I like anime. We talk and watch anime. I have a child who just expressed she wants her room to be my hideout to watch anime on my phone. So more formative words. So sorry, oops. Sometimes I get lost.
No,
Playing
it's
outside
great.
with them after school. Dwayne likes to cook, so we cook together. So a lot of quality time with their kids doing what they do, baking together, dancing. Saturdays is Girls' Day. My daughter and I spend the day doing girl stuff. Go to the spa and eat together. Walking every morning to school and talking. I believe there is a quiz for teens.
Yes, it's on
If I'm not mistaken, it's on the left bottom side. I think that's where I saw it. But yeah, there, I saw it somewhere. I always ask my little sister how school was and what they talk about in the day. Very good.
Miss Rodriguez, you know what I love about these? And like when I see people's cameras on too, you know, some of these, they're just making us smile. You know, you just, as you read them, we're all just smiling about it. And I've yet to hear anything that's going to really stretch us, stretch our budget, stretch our capabilities. You know, I think it's that time, it's that opportunity of pausing, reflecting on those best practices that we have, and then what's that one little switch that we're going to be able to do moving forward. And Ms. Rodriguez, thank you so much for reading through a lot of those. I want to honor everybody's time. I want to make sure we end on time. But you know,
no problem. I really enjoyed reading them too.
Yeah, it's fun, huh? It's like we wrote a parenting book all in less than 40 minutes. How about that?
I think it gives you ideas to, like extra ideas to do different things with the kids too.
I agree. Thank you, Ms. Yurtes. Yes. You know, we began today saying that our walkaways are going to maybe possibly build a relationship that's not there, increase our connectedness, talked about promoting our own self-awareness and awareness of our kids. You know, once your kids complete this, it's going to have so many ways of affecting your home. You're going to be able to meet each other's needs in a different manner. It's going to allow us as caregivers to act with consideration in a different way. You know, because if I just did words of affirmation all the time with Sophia, it wouldn't feel the same for her. So I've got to be considerate of who she is. And you know, it's going to allow us to communicate. And I just want you to keep that taco in your brain when you're doing this, is that we all like to eat different tacos. And even though all these kids came from me, and I'm thinking they all should be the same, they're all going to have those different ingredients. And the last thing this really allows us to do is truly embrace our differences. I heard Ms. Williams say that as a district, we really work with equity. And, you know, as parents, that's our job too, is to really ensure that. So thank you so much for the time tonight. I look forward to next year. Hopefully I'll see a bunch of you back next year. And if we're not on Zoom, I'll meet you in person. But I hope you enjoy using this. And hey, it's fun to do with friends too. Boyfriends, girlfriends, everybody. It's just fun to do it. It leads to a really neat conversation.